Away from 11:15 in the morning. We're now officially in the second hour of Tracks Momentum. It is W Talk Tuesdays. It's a terrific Tuesday because I love Tuesdays for one reason, and that's because it is a moment of learning. It's a time for me to speak to inspiring women and learn from their journeys in life so that we can better our journeys in our lives. Lots of things men can learn from women, Never have that ego. Push that out of the door when you're having this conversation. It's W Talk, and today, Anil on the mic is not alone in the studios. I have the privilege of speaking to our special guest in the studio. Her name is Nur Farisya Abdul Shukor. She's an MC, she's a speaker, as well as a women empowerment advocate, and she's given me the privilege to call her Farisya. Good morning, Farisya.
Good morning. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
Fantastic.
Great. I can feel your energy, and we're excited to get to discover more about you today. W Talk, it's a flagship show that we've been having at Tracks for a long time running. And it's one of those shows where we get an opportunity to speak to inspiring women like you so that you can tell your story to the many millions of girls and women out there. And then towards the end of the show, I have a segment called a seed planting segment where you will plant some seeds of inspiration. We'll get to that when we reach the end of our conversation. But to start off, Farisya, perhaps you can tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Yes, okay. First and foremost, I would like to thank RTM, Radio Angkasa Puri, and TRAXXfm for having me today. Thank you very much. And I would also like to wish everyone Selamat Hari Raya. Idul Fitri is still Raya. We're still in Raya mode. And I'm very grateful to be here because I would love to share on my journey, and also to talk about the topic that interests me the most, which is women empowerment. And allow me to introduce myself. My full name is Nur Farisya Abdul Shukor. People call me Farisya. And I am the head of marketing at the ECO Syndrome Berhad. The ECOs is an IT tech, digital project management and consulting company. Our office is based in Plaza Central, KL Central. And apart from that, I'm also a freelance MC.
Right.
I'm also a speaker, moderator, and I also conduct training to students and fresh graduate. And I teach soft skills, presentation skills, and public speaking.
Wow, amazing. I'm sure all those years of you putting in your hard work to enhance the skills, which is communication, I'm sure a lot of these students can learn a hefty deal from you. Talk to us about your passions and your hobbies.
Okay, my passion, hobbies. Okay, so my passions are I love reading. I love learning new knowledge and skills. I love upskilling myself because I believe that as a human, there's always something new to learn, and we learn something new every day.
Right.
So my late father, Allah Yarham Haji Abdul Shukor bin Muhammad, he always advised me that there's always something that you can learn every day in any situation, whether the situation is good or bad. So for me, I love learning. I love personal development. I love attending trainings and seminars. I love cooking. So when I'm at home, I love cooking. I suka masak. So I love to cook. So I can cook Malay food. I can cook Western food. So for me, cooking is therapy. So bila I masak tu, when I cook tu, you get that kind of like, that's like the healing part lah, it's therapeutic. So I love cooking, and I also love singing.
Okay.
I love singing. I love dancing, and I inherited the singing talent from my late father, Allah Yarham Haji Abdul Shukor. So he was a good singer as well.
Okay.
And so whenever I feel down, or sometimes I feel like I have a bad day. And then when I sing, when you sing, you feel like, hey, everything's going to be all right. Yeah. So singing is therapy. Cooking is also therapy. And then attending, like going for seminar and training is also therapy as well because you're learning new things.
Okay.
So
reading, cooking, and also singing as well. All right, great. Now that we've discovered more about your passion, your hobbies, and then since you've also given us an introduction about yourself, we'll jump in for a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about the things that you are particularly passionate about, and in this case, supporting and empowering women. Today on W Talk, I am speaking to Nur Farisya Abdul Shukor. She's an MC, a speaker, as well as a women empowerment advocate, and she's today talking to us about supporting and empowering women. W Talk will go in for a quick break. When we come back, we shall resume with the discussion. Don't go anywhere. Thank you. Welcome back to W Talk on Tracks Momentum. My name is Anil on the mic. Today in the studios we have Nur Farisya Abdul Shukor. She's a woman of many hats, and today she's wearing the hat of a women's empowerment advocate to talk to us about the topic that we have today, which is supporting and empowering women. Farisya, welcome back to W Talk. And also, just for a visual cue, for those of you tuning in and listening to our show using the radio, if you want to know what Farisya looks like, well, you can always head over to TRAXXfm's official Facebook page or also our YouTube channel to watch this interview live. Now, Farisya, as in line with the topic we have, supporting and empowering women, I would like to know if there are any causes or social issues that you particularly feel passionate about.
I'm really passionate about advocating women to support each other, because I think this is really important. Because, for example, I give a scenario. Instead of a woman, bring down another woman, why not we support and empower each other? So meaning to say that there's no envy, there's no jealousy, there's no bringing each other down. It's all about supporting and empowering each other. Because I totally believe that, I truly believe if we support each other, we become stronger and we become united. And I think it's good that, we don't have any feeling of jealousy or envy towards other women, because I believe that every human being, our life path, our perjalanan hidup is different, and I believe in the concept of rezeki. So different people have different rezeki, so we cannot compare. Some people have more, some people have less. But what we can do as a human being is we bersyukur, we be thankful for what we have, and we be thankful for what we don't have. Because in life, we cannot have everything. If we compare to other women and say, oh, she have more than me, I have less. But why don't you be friends with her and support each other and see how you can progress yourself and how you can learn from her?
Yeah. Individually, we
Exactly.
can be whoever we are, but together as a force will become indispensable. And that's
Exactly.
the beauty when women come together. But I'm curious to know, what does an advocate for women empowerment do? What does it encompass?
Okay.
What do you think are your describe your responsibilities? And let me just put a scenario. When you walk out of this, I think it's not a 9-to-5 job. It's a full-time responsibility that you undertake. So if you see a girl who needs some motivation, or you see a teenage girl who needs some wisdom, I'm sure you give her a nudge on her shoulder and say, come on, you can do it, girl. But give us some context to that. What does a women's empowerment advocate do?
Okay, so for a woman empowerment advocate, so we have to support and empower each other and support other ladies to believe in themselves, because sometimes as women, sometimes we have low self-esteem, sometimes we have good days, sometimes we have bad days. So as a woman empowerment advocate, I want to, empower more women to step outside of their comfort zone, to say that, hey, I can do this. It is difficult. It is difficult, but I can do this one step at a time. And it's not easy. So I give an example, a scenario. So when I was young, when I was about 20, 21 years old, I was not a good speaker, and I was not a good MC, and I make mistakes along the way. And it's okay to make mistakes, because you learn from your mistakes. Because if you don't make mistakes, you're not human. So along the line, everything takes time. Everything is a process. So to become a good speaker, to become a good MC, to become a good host, it all comes with process and learning curve. And you make mistakes, and sometimes you forgot your line, you forgot your script, and sometimes you miss out on certain points. And it's okay, because down the line, we're all human. We make mistakes and we learn from it. And when we learn from it, we make sure that we don't repeat the same mistakes again.
Of course.
And that is how you learn. So when I coach students and fresh graduates on emceeing and public speaking, I teach them, say, it's okay for the first time when you MC or when you conduct public speaking, when you speak on stage to deliver your presentation, it's okay if you stutter. It's okay if you, I'm not sure, or it's like you're scared, right? It's okay to be scared because it's your first time. But along the way, when you rehearse, when you practice, then you overcome your fears.
Interesting.
When
You brought that
practice.
up, because, some of the most popular people, right, producer Julian, we're talking about Steve Harvey this morning. Even he, someone that I always listen to, he admitted that, he had a
Yeah.
stuttering issue. And I think that's another thing we need to, instill in our kids these days, which is it is okay to fail.
It's
It is
okay.
absolutely fine
It's okay
to fail.
Yeah.
And, every time, you fall down 8 times, you get up the 9th and the 10th time. That's
Exactly.
absolutely fine.
And if you fall down, you get back up.
Mm.
You get back up and you learn. And then you practice. Because
Yeah.
practice makes perfect.
Perfect.
Yes.
So can you take us now back to your professional life and,
Mm-hmm.
describe a very challenging scenario that you faced and how it turned into something very rewarding for you?
That relates to women empowerment.
Or your professional life, yeah.
Professional life. Okay. So I remember back in 2016, it was 18th of February 2016. I just arrived at the office and I opened my laptop. Was about to open my laptop because I have a 10 a.m. meeting with my general manager and team. And then suddenly I got a call. I got a call from my mother. And then my mother called me and say, Farisya, balik cepat. And then I say, kenapa Mom? Papa dah tak ada. Papa dah tak ada. And then my next door neighbor called me, Auntie, this is Auntie, come back home now. Papa dah tak ada. I dropped my laptop, I dropped my phone. My colleagues come rush to my cubicle and then say, Farisya, don't worry about 10 a.m. presentation, we can handle it for you. And then my general manager at that time, she was a very good boss. And I really look up to her. Her name is Puan Anis Azlinda, Petronas. I was at Petronas Downstream. And she was very encouraging. She said, go back, don't worry about work, we can handle it. Okay, balik rumah sekarang. And then I rush home. And then my colleague said, don't drive. Take this money, naik taxi. Sebab nanti kalau you drive kereta, you tak boleh fokus. Jangan drive kereta, naik taxi. So I took the cab. And then I came home. And then I hugged my mom. I say, the last time, the night before, my dad was watching TV. He was watching TV just fine. He was watching badminton on TV. And then the next day, he's gone. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala love him more.
Okay.
And 3 days after the tahlil, my team, the whole team, and my general manager came to my house, support me, So
Just hold it right there. I think, Farisya, you need to take a breather. We'll jump in for a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about how this experience became something rewarding for you. Don't go anywhere. W Talk will be right back today. I'm speaking to Nur Farisya Shukor. She's a woman with many hats, and she just candidly described to her one of the most challenging moments in her life. We talk right here on Tracks Momentum. My name is Anil on the mic, and today in the studios we have the very candid Nur Farisya Abdul Shukor. She's a woman with many hats, and she's also an active advocate for women's empowerment. Just a while ago, before the break, Farisya was sharing with us a very heart-touching story of a challenging moment in her life when she found out that her father had passed on. And then she went on to describe how her co-workers were there to support her and carry her through this ordeal that she was facing. Now let's hear it from her herself as to how that went on. Take it away, Farisya.
Thank you very much. So, to share on this story just now, so the whole team, including my general manager, came and they supported me and they empower me. They give me their moral support. And all of them, they hug me and they say, don't worry, everything is going to be all right. And don't worry about work. Don't worry about your presentation slides. We got it all covered. So for me, in relatable to woman empowerment, yeah. So for that, I feel appreciated and loved by my working colleagues and by my management team because they were there for me. And it was a very challenging time because I was very close to my dad. I'm a firstborn, anak sulung.
Okay.
And then my dad was like, he's like my mentor, my inspiration.
So what is the one thing, what is that one thing that you learned from your father that you think could be beneficial for other women?
Okay, so what I learned from my father is never give up. And if you make mistakes, it's okay to make mistakes. Learn from it and overcome your fears. And don't ever doubt yourself. Don't ever say that you're not good enough. Give it a try. So for example, let's say if you like emceeing, but you're scared to hold the mic and to speak in public, give it a go, give it a try, practice or attend courses, attend training and learn. And then let's say if you want to learn digital marketing, enroll in training for digital marketing, and there's always room for growth and learning. So in our life, don't ever say that we're not good enough or we can't do anything. You have to give it a try first.
Of course, and I think just like that, just like what the advice your father gave you, you gave it all a try, which is why you're wearing so many hats. You do so many things. You're an MC, you're a speaker, you're the head of marketing, you're an advocate. You know, you're a walking motivational sort of a guru for many other young women to follow suit after the things that you've done. How do you balance all of these things and still remain so vibrant and gracious like you are?
How I maintain my energy.
Yeah.
Because I always believe that, you know, we only live once, YOLO, yeah? And then life is too short. And we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And you know, and this world is temporary. So always be a good person, have a good heart, and do good to others, never harm others. Don't have jealousy or envy towards other people, because always believe that everyone have a different rizki. Everybody have a different life path and journey. So we respect and empower each other, have a good heart. And also, you know, you always believe that, you know, when you have the energy to do good and to live life like today is your last, you know, so you have that energy and say, okay, today is going to be a great day. So when I get out of bed, I always have this mantra saying that, okay, today, inshallah, today is going to be a fantastic day. So always say that to yourself. But sometimes life is not what it all seems, can? And then sometimes things don't go your way. Plan don't go your way. And sometimes when we plan things, it doesn't happen. And it's okay, because it's life. It's like, for example, event management. When you're planning for an event and suddenly something happened. So it's the same thing as life.
Okay.
So sometimes things don't go your way, but it's okay. Look on the bright side and say, Alhamdulillah, you know, God give me another day. I'm still alive. I'm still breathing. I'm going to try again. Oh, I failed at this exam. I failed at this paper, but it's not the end of the world. I can redo the paper and take the exam again. So always have in your mindset that it's okay. So it's the same thing as job hunting. So let's say, oh, I didn't get the interview at XYZ company, and Of course, you feel sad because you didn't get the job interview, right? But you have to pick yourself up and say, hey, it's okay.
Of
But
course.
I'm going to try again.
Yeah. And I think that
yeah.
stems from the values that your father instilled in you. Let's jump in for a quick break. And I think the perfect song to best describe what you just mentioned, I think, is a song from Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey. Here's When You Believe, dedicated especially for you, Farisya. Sometimes when women speak, they can even penetrate into your heart and touch your soul. That's what Farisya Shukor has been doing with us today on today's edition of W Talk. She's a woman with many hats as well as a women empowerment advocate. And she was just talking to us about how she's just an open book and she's open. So if you see her, walking while you're in the mall or having lunch or having dinner, she's all ears to listen to you and empower you, especially if you're a woman. And I think, she's okay to give a couple of advice for men as well. Farisya, welcome back to W Talk. Now, you've been sharing with us your incredible journey, and earlier during the break, we were talking about how we all carry this one pivotal moment, one incident in our lives that we carry with us everywhere we go, which is the turning point. And you were talking to us about your father. Now, I want to touch on success. You've come a long way, and success is subjective. It varies from people to people. What is success to you? How do you define it? Very briefly.
Success. What success means to me. So success is when you are able to help other people to be successful. And when you do it, as a team, teamwork. So that is the definition of success.
Okay. When you're able to help others, empower others to reach the same position that you have reached in your life. Now, on that note, let's plant some seeds of inspiration. This is a seed planting moment in W Talk. This is the icing on the cake, and it's something that we do. It definitely wouldn't be a W Talk if I didn't ask you this. You got the camera over there, and you got lots of millions of girls listening to you. We're going to give you 1 minute for you to plant seeds of inspiration and talk to inspire all the girls. Take it away, Farisya.
So my advice for all the women and girls, don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to experiment new things, because you learn something new along the way. And be brave to step outside of your comfort zone, to reach your fullest potential. Sometimes it feels scary for the first time because you're doing something for the first time. It feels really scary, you're scared. But if you don't take the risk, right? No risk, no reward. So you need to take the risk and see what's the outcome. Because if you don't try, you never know what you can achieve. So it's all about your mindset, growth mindset. And another thing that I would like to share with women and girls is have a growth mindset. So what it means by growth mindset is the ability to always see something on the bright side, even though you failed in something. But you always remain optimist and say, it's okay, it didn't work out, I failed, but tomorrow I will try again. That's growth mindset, and always have the ability to move forward. Optimism, thinking on the bright side of life.
Right.
Yeah.
Farisya Shukor, thank you so much for setting aside your time and being with us today at W Talk. It's been a pleasure for having you, and we look forward to speaking to you again in the studios. And thank you very much for sharing your incredible story with us. You have a wonderful day today. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
for having me.
All right, and that was a wrap with today's edition of W Talk. Farisya Shukor shared with us her story, and it was a conversation, I have to say the least, filled with some tears, laughter, memories, and of course, to top it all up, lots and lots of inspiration. We've done our part today in W Talk, and we hope that you drew some inspiration from the anecdotes and the stories and the tips that Farisya shared. If you missed out on this conversation, worry not. You can always head back to TRAXXfm Official's Facebook page or our YouTube channel and catch the replay right there. Coming up in less than 15 minutes, we'll be crossing over to the RTM News Center for the 12 o'clock news bulletin. And then after that, Anil on the mic will be seeing you for the third hour of Tracks Momentum. Don't go anywhere. See you in a bit.